I thought I had seen pretty girls in my time, but that was before I met you. I never saw one that I wanted for mine, but that was before I met you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Waylon Wire's Old Iron. As you know, most of you know, I've been trying to bring my old 73 Squarebody back to life after catching on fire. And back in March I think it was, and boy, did some damage, I tell you. Had to pull the engine and go through, clean all that up and get in there and take everything off the firewall and paint it. Well, you know about that. Anyway, I decided I got to take it on the maiden voyage, and did pretty good. Couple of things, but you'll see that as we go along. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Let's do it. Hey, welcome to Rat Rodding. My name's Waylon Wire, and don't ever do what we do here on this channel. My dream, the dream is to get the Dirty Dozen back in the shop and start working on a fuel system and those seats. I've got to get some seats in there, man. I just can't ride on that milk crate anymore. Besides being uncomfortable, it's really not safe, and that's one of the first things I want to do is get working on those seats. But I think I'm going to do a fuel system, probably both kind of at the same time, because I'm kind of waiting on some parts. I've ordered a couple things for it. Anyway, that's the dream, is to get this in the shop. But first, I got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Got a little house cleaning to do. I got to get my Squarebody over on the lift and pick it up and see where that transmission fluid's coming from. I suspect it's the dipstick tube. It may be leaking, but it's got a little bit of fluid on the floor. Maybe I forgot to hook up the speedometer cable. I don't know. But anyway, I need to investigate that. All right, it is several days later. Since I did the last video, but let's investigate this thing a little bit. I got that transmission leak under there. I got to pick this up and see where it's coming from. But I'll tell you, if you recall, after I got this hood painted and we started to put it on, it had a big bow in it right here, right between here and here. It was really bowed real bad, and on the other side, it was, we got a pretty good gap there. The other side, it was bowed back here real bad, from here to here. And it still doesn't pull down the way it should, but the hinge has gone down as far as it could. But this is an aftermarket fender, so it's never gonna fit right. That's just the way it is, and it's just an old truck, and I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm lucky to have it. Whatever it is what it is. But Harmon came up and we were talking about that bow, and I laid a towel on there and put a 2x4 on there. I said, all right, Harmon, beat the hell out of it. And he ran back with a hammer. Go wham, boy. It took that bow right out, and I didn't even scratch the paint or chip any paint or anything. And by the way, that paint is a good match, boy. It's a pretty good match. So anyway, I got to get this thing up in the air and investigate that transmission leak. See what's going on there. Tiny bit of wiggle on that other side. I think I'm going to tighten that bearing a little bit. It's detectable, but I'm going to fix it. Well, I thought maybe I'd forgot to hook the speedometer up or something, but it is leaking. It's not much, but it drops on the floor, but it is leaking. Now, actually quite a bit. There's two leaks right there. There's one there and one over there, and that one's the speedometer, and that one's the rear seal. And boy, I thought, I'll see if that'll tighten down any. But the rear seal, boy, I thought I'd have no sense to change that, swap that out. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Okay. Oh, that's something I forgot to do. See, that's why I've got it on the lift, just to check for things like this. Because as all of you know, I am not the brightest tool in the shed, not the sharpest tool in the shed. And putting that U-joint in is what got my thumb. I'll have to tell you that story sometime. Boy, I smashed her good, but it's growing back. I'm just like a starfish, you know. I grow parts back. All right, I'm gonna see what I can do here, but I mean, I'm gonna have to change that seal. That's no big deal. No, but I can't have that. Well, I just couldn't stood it. And this is where some oil ran down before. See, I've not had it up here on the lift since I re-stabbed that intake and resealed it, but that all looks good. There's no leaks there, and my dipstick tube is not leaking. That's what I thought it might have been, but it's not. A little bit of seepage around this oil pan. Maybe I'll replace that gasket. I just hate leaks. All right, well, we know what the deal is. I'm gonna grab a pair of pliers and go ahead and tighten that collar up on there. All right, onward and upward. Well, that speedometer cable's still leaking, and I got the rear seal for it. It's not leaking right now, but it will. As soon as it spins over, it's gonna leak. So I got the rear seal. I got a pan gasket I'm gonna put on it. It's probably my own fault. I probably over tightened it. I try not to do that because these rubber gaskets, you shouldn't over tighten them too much. People over tighten their valve covers, and I try to be careful about that. But anyway, Charlie, my good old buddy Charlie Napa down there, he set me up with an O-ring and another little gizmo here that might help this speedometer cable situation a little bit. We'll investigate it. Yeah, let's do that. I wrapped some tape around those pliers so I could just kind of gingerly and lightly try and work that thing out of there. And remember, don't ever do what you see me doing around here. Now the goal here was not to keep from losing any fluid. I knew I was going to lose some fluid. The goal was to not take a bath in it. I wonder why they don't put a drain plug in those things. Now this transmission doesn't have very many miles on it since it was serviced, so I'm not going to do a whole service on it. I'm just going to replace that pan gasket. I buzz those bolts in with a rattle gun, but I like to finish them off with a ratchet, so I just have a feel for how tight they are. I know I'm getting them good and tight. Alrighty, I think, oh crap, I forgot to put that rear seal in. I've got to pull that drive shaft back out. Oh goody. You know, the place where I buy most of my parts was closed when I got into town last night, so I went to O'Reilly's and I told the kid that I needed a rear seal for a Turbo 400. Well, about 10-12 minutes later, he's still digging through that computer, and the other young guy come in. Well, of course he wanted to know what's it in, what's it out. Well, he said, what's that out of? And I said, I don't know, man. It came out of, I don't know, it's in a 73 Chevy, but it originally had a 4-speed, and I have no idea what that's out of. But I said the rear seal should be pretty much the same on all of them, you know. And then the other guy come over, young guy come over and started looking with him, and they kept digging and digging, and finally it dawned on me what was going on. I made a mistake. I just assumed that they knew what a Turbo 400 is, but he was looking for a rear main seal I said I need a rear seal for a Turbo 400, and he was looking for a rear main seal for a 400 small block. So, you know, because, you know, y'all know what a Turbo 400 is. That's enough said, you know, but I try not to get frustrated with those young men, because I put myself in their shoes, and that would be like when I was, you know, 18, 20 years old. If I was working in a parts store and somebody come in asking for a part off of a, you know, a Model A or something, and just, you know, like assume I know what it is, you know, and they'd probably get frustrated with me because I wouldn't know. So I don't know. I just, yeah, I just try to cut them some slack, and it used to really irritate me, but you know, we change when we get a little older, and try to be a little more accepting and a little less demanding, and you know, hopefully, I mean, I try to. Anyway, I should have smeared some grease on that, but it's not too late. I'm going to do that. And I'll put the drive shaft back in. There, I got him slicked up pretty good now. Yeah. Good enough for government work. Yeah, here we go again. Here we go again. He tied me to the railroad track. Well, y'all don't need to watch me do this again. Okay. I think I said in a couple videos back that I'm just tired of working on this thing. You know, it's been taking me 4 months to get right back where I started. And I ain't back where I started because it's not as good as it was, but it is what it is, and I can live with it. I keep saying it's just an old truck, man, you know, it'll never be original. The only thing original about it's the cab. It's been a full frame off, and it's a different bed, whole front clip's different, and so it's got the same VIN number. That's about it. But yeah, so this fall, Harmon, he's going to come up, and we're going to do a little work on this thing. There's a little crease right there, a little boo-boo. I was backing out of a friend's place, and there was some junk hidden in the weeds, and yeah, I backed into some kind of piece of metal. I don't know what it was, but couldn't see it. And then it's starting to have a little cancer bubble up, a couple little bubbles. Here's one here, and here's one, and there's a little paint chipped off there, because I ain't too worried about that, but I'm not too worried about much of anything. But anyway, this is pretty bad here. And then I just noticed something today when I put this thing up on the rack. I'll get the light so I can show you. I noticed some cancer underneath that I never really noticed before. And I should have, and I should have taken care of it already, but I will. You can see there's some pretty bad cancer right there. But I will cut that out. Oh, I guess I should get it in frame so you guys can see. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, because it's getting solid here and back here, and I think I can, side of the walls are good, so I'll cut a piece out and put it in there. The other side's the same way. This is a little bit of deterioration right there too, but I'll just probably put some rust mort on that, just get it stopped, and I'll probably do that right away. But yeah, the old truck, it's been a lot of miles, but I love it. You know, it's like me. It's got a lot of flaws, but we're pretty good partners. So I'm gonna try and take care of it the best I can. You know, I just noticed the paint run right there, and yeah, I wasn't too happy with the guy that restored this truck, but oh well. He probably ain't too happy with me either, so we're even. All right, I'm gonna get this thing down. I think I probably need to, well, I need to take this thing for a little test run. I think my timing's off a little bit. When it dies, it'll spark and die, and when you give it the gas. So I checked the vacuum hoses, everything, vacuum advance, all that's good, but my timing must be off a little bit, and I want to take it down the road. I haven't really had it on the highway yet, so I need to take it out and make sure it shifts out good, see how it shifts, because I put a new modulator valve on that transmission, on that turbo 400. You know, I was talking about being tolerant with those boys, and I mean, I'm not cured, you know, completely. That's to an extent, because I went in one day and laid a battery cable on the counter, and the kid said, "What's that?" And I thought, now he needs to be working at a clothing store or flipping burgers or selling candy bars to little girls or something, but he ain't got no business working in a parts store. I don't care how young he is or how dumb he is. He ought to be somewhere else. But these other boys, them boys last night, they were really trying, you know. They really were digging. They were trying to help me. And I didn't know what the problem was, or I'd have solved it sooner, you know. I just thought they couldn't find a turbo 400 transmission. Just because I couldn't tell them the year. I said, I don't know, just pick one. Okay, and they started looking, and I don't know. Check it out, man. Got me a new lid. I decided to just spoil myself a little bit. Oh, I guess I ought to put a little transmission fluid in it, huh? Well, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Push it back a little so I can get my fat body in there. Well, I got to put some anti-froze in it. The old boy's running pretty good. Adjusted the, moved the trigger just a little bit. I always tease D.D. Dan. I tell him, man, you got no heels. How do you adjust the timing without heels, you know? Because, well, you adjust the timing, you take it out and climb a hill. If it pings, you back her off a little. Good thing I decided to check under here. I'm doing real good today. That's all right. I'm having a good time. I ain't hurting nobody. Blinkers on. Alright, I'm gonna throw some anti-froze in this thing. Well, I brought her up to temp and checked the tranny fluid. Looks good. I had water running out down underneath there, and what in the world's going on? So I started looking at it. I forgot to tighten one bolt on the water pump. I think I got that taken care of. I ordered this reservoir and they didn't send me the lid for it. It's supposed to have a little lid with a little spout that hose goes on to, but I'll have to try to find one of them. But anyway, I got a can of gas in the back here. I got a gallon of water. I got a quart of tranny fluid in my little toolkit here. You know, I ain't the sharpest guy around, but it ain't my first rodeo either. Oh, I gotta clean this thing up, man. Now it's time to vacuum it out and kind of detail it a little bit. It looks pretty rough, but I hope it runs out okay. That's the main thing right now. All right, let's do this thing. Out real smooth, real nice. You know, not too aggressive, but solid. And so I guess that modulator valve is probably just about right. I've got a brake squeaking real bad, and you know, isn't it funny how when you work on something totally unrelated to what you're working on, well, will go wrong. You know, it could be changing the radiator, and then all of a sudden your gas gauge quit working. And you go, you know, they're not related, but that's how it works sometimes. That's how it works for me anyway. Must be my karma. Maybe my planets are just not lined up. Let's see how she shifts here. Yeah, I got adjusted a little bit. Shipped out a little bit slow. Oh, it's so nice to have my truck back. The windshield guy never did come back. He's supposed to come back and seal his windshield so I could put the mirror on. Well, I can put the mirror on. He's supposed to do it, but I can do that. But anyway, he's supposed to come back and seal it, and oh, so I haven't put the wipers on. Not that I need them. It ain't gonna rain here until October, and then it'll rain a few days and turn to snow. We have 2 seasons here where I live, winter and August. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust that modulator a little bit, I think. I don't know, it shifted real smooth on the driveway. I wasn't giving a whole lot of gas and it shifted right out. But I had my foot in it pretty good then. Maybe that's why it hesitated, why it shifted hard. It might be just right. Oh man, I'm so happy to have this truck on the road again. I just wish all that fire and stuff had never happened, man. But you know, life happens. There's a squeaky brake. A good shift. A little slow. Yeah, a little bit slow. Shifted into third. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me. Alright, I'm sure the audio is not real good with my window down, but it's a little too warm to be driving with the windows up. It's not hot, but it's going to get hot. It's going to be about 110 on Wednesday, I guess. But I haven't forgot last winter, so I'm not complaining. At least I don't have to shovel snow off my roof this week. Well, my temperature gauge is wigging out. something to do with that new wiring harness, because it's not hot. I put about a half a gallon of water in it, but the thermostat had not opened yet when I left. So it's not overheating. I'm getting a false reading on temp gauge. Yeah, it's pegged. It's showing pegged, but the truck is not hot. So one more thing. Oh, and the gas gauge is not working either. I'll switch tanks and see if I can get it to work, but I don't think it's going to. One more thing to fix. All right. Discovered that the temp gauge was going haywire is I got a little bit of paint on the temp sensor when I painted that engine. So yeah, another smooth move of mine. Anyway, oh, it sure feels good to go down the road in my old truck again, man. Still little issues, you know, the gas gauge ain't working for some reason. Let's see, what else? Oh, it's running rich. You know, they set those, what are those carbs, 1406? Those Edelbrocks, anyway, they set them up to run real rich. And I'd already changed out the metering rods in that old carburetor that burnt. So I had it leaned out a little bit and it ran pretty good, but this one's a little bit rich, a little black smoke. So we'll take care of that, you know. But all in all, I'm happy, man. It's good to be back with my old buddy here. You know, earlier I made a statement about that kid working at the parts store, and I said he ought to be selling candy bars to little girls or something. Well, before anybody takes off on a tangent on that, go somewhere they shouldn't with it. Where that came from was years ago. We were hiring people, you know, to work on our grafting crew in the spring, and we used to go see this lady. It's got a little store down here in town, and because she'd have people come in and apply for a job, you know, ask her about a job, and we said, hey, if anybody comes in asking for work, send them out, you know, because we can put them to work. Well, all of a sudden one day she showed up with this 15-year-old boy. And she dropped him off, so he didn't have a ride. She just dropped him off in the orchard. So he was stuck. Now, we wasn't going to take him home. So he had to finish out the day. And I was giving him a ride home at the end of the day. He said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow. And I said, really? Why is that? He said, oh, you know, I've had back trouble all my life. And I started laughing. I said, you ain't even had a life yet, man. I said, because he was applying for work at the grocery store. That little Mexican store this lady owned. So I told him, I said, you thought you were going to be, today when you applied for a job, you thought you were going to be selling candy bars to little girls, didn't you? And he goes, yeah. He thought he was going to be working at that store. So that's where that statement came from. Anyway. Story time with Uncle Waylon. That's enough. Thank you. Okay, guys, thanks so much for stopping by today. To my family, I love you. To all you subscribers, I sure do appreciate you. We'll see you next time.